One last little debrief. Okay. So who found, so what, first of all, for the camera, right? What did I tell folks to do who were, there was folks who were strong and there are people who were dealing with that. What did I tell you guys to do? Deny the bind, right? If a person who's strong clearly wants to bind in a particular position, if you give that to them, that's just losing the structure game, right? So instead, do something that does not give them that chance to bind the way they want, right? What was challenging about that game?
Knowing when to get them, it's not going to result in a problem.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. The caliber, or the thing that allows us to calibrate whether or not that bind happens is being able to read structure in real time. Jason, if you wouldn't mind, right? What eventually happens with this game is eventually a bind's going to happen. It just is inevitable, right? But there's a big difference going to your strong long point on this side, right? If I cut around here and let him bind here, and then I go, oh, I want to come around here, that is a little too slow, right? You're not reading the structure change fast enough. Instead, you recognize where that's going to go, strengthen, and then while you're doing that, change your structure to deny them the structure they think they're going to get, right? And so this is the skill set which is built starting with a foundation of understanding what structure is, right? Not just knowing whether or not someone is a strong position, weak position, lengthened, shortened position. That's the basis of it. The application of it is saying, all right, how can I manipulate my opponent's structure to my advantage in real time? That starts with understanding what it means, and it starts with drills where you recognize and read where structure is good or not, where you have advantage or not, and then you try to play that into real time. And that's how you progress that. Other questions or comments on any of that?
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Austin. How do you do it when you're tired? You do it when you're tired until you do it and you find that it's less tiring, right? You work at this when you're tired.
Never get tired.
Never get tired. But seriously, but like cross training, working on your cardio, your strength, these things like that. But not more importantly, that's all important. What's also important is studying the core principles here so that you know mindfully to apply them when you're tired and when you're exhausted, right? That's a great question. So just going to do one last quick summary of the day, and then we're going to release each other free sparring. We have a hard stop at 5. We've got to be out of here by 5, right? Structure is defined as the alignment of our sword and body relative to our opponent's sword and body. There are different components about whether or not we have mechanical advantage or disadvantage against our opponent, and how extended or shortened, lengthened or shortened that structural advantage or disadvantage can be in a particular moment. If we take time to understand how those dynamics play together, and when we have the correct structure at the correct time against our opponent's actions or guards, then we can start building a game which is gain the structural advantage, deny them a structural advantage, and be able to hit safely, right? And if we view all of our fencing actions and we view what is correct and written in the books and what is advised by the masters, if we view this through a lens of how does this structural interplay work, we can speed up our troubleshooting of when we make mistakes, and we can understand the intention behind some of the core philosophical principles of not just Kunst des Fechtens, but a lot of other fencing treatises. I train 133 Sword and Buckler with several folks here. It's really fun. The same principles apply, even though the mechanics are different with sword and buckler, because there's structure behind how you hold a buckler. If you're doing rapier, there's particularly structurally advantageous or disadvantageous positions with a rapier, and that's going to differ if you're using a side sword earlier Maya rapier versus like a later Spanish or Italian hilted rapier, right? The principles will stay the same, the mechanics will apply differently, but ultimately understanding the sword body alignment of your opponent and yourself together and being able to turn that into a game that can be played is a wonderful way to reduce doubling and to win more and to understand the art more successfully. Any final thoughts before I release people to sparring? One more time, thank you so much to St. Paul Fry Factors for hosting us. It was really fun. Thank you for coming out. Make sure you rest up after doing this. But I'm going to put my gear on so you can all try to stab me. Yes, go for it.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right. Go get your gear and spar.